Hello, George, Pat Ninja Food Forest. Out with the mic sticking it out, the big jet going over. These are the Korean natural farming products that I have. I got these ready for class yesterday. Now it's time to do the extraction on them. We talked about them yesterday and how we made them, and I'm gonna go ahead and go through with it now. And I'm gonna do the extraction here on video. I don't believe my mic was working. I just did the one, which was done with the eggshells, where we took eggshells, cooked them down on the stove. That was a calcium. Cook that calcium down in the stove to remove the insides, anything that might be a shell product that was in there. From that, we browned them a little bit, and that allowed the chemical reaction to happen when we put those 1 part eggshells to 10 parts vinegar. We use apple cider vinegar, as often suggested. So apple cider vinegar, 10 parts to 1 part eggshells. There was a chemical reaction, and it released that calcium inside of that product. I filtered out the eggshells, and this is what we have left. All of these serums will be used in 1,000 to 1 and in conjunction with one another. So it'll be 1 gallon of water to a light teaspoon of this. Also, a light teaspoon of one of these and a light teaspoon of that. So 3 to 1,000 in the end, but 1 to 1,000 each. So for these, one is flowers and fruit from the garden, young fruit, young flowers. This one is plant materials, fast growing tips, fast growing plants and weeds from around the yard. What we've done is in those environments, we find that biology, those bacteria, that fungi, those microbes that we want to use for those processes to happen. Those microbes break down that plant material, collecting those nutrients, those minerals, taking that biotic life and those minerals and nutrients and putting it into that serum. So when we use the one from the fast growing plants, that's going to give us vegetative growth. When we use the one from flowers and fruits, that's going to give us larger fruits, better fruits, and more flavor. When we use the eggshells, the calcium, that's going to be for flowering, give us larger fruits. And the last one that we're talking about here is going to be the lab collection. So lactic acid bacteria. These bacillus are the most numerous bacteria out there. If we were to look at our skin under a microscope, there's more bacteria of these type of bacteria on our skin than there are skin cells. They're so numerous in nature. So what we've done is we've collected these. We collected these using a rice washed water, taking a rice that we were making for an IMO collection here, indigenous microorganisms. First, we erased that water and washed it. We collected that water. We waited 2 to 3 days, shorter or longer, depending on whether it's colder or warmer at your house. These are all processes of nature. So about 3 days until it had a slightly sweet smell to it. Excuse me. Until it had a slightly sweet smell to it. At that point, we used it again, 1 to 10. So we used 1 part rice washed water to 10 parts milk. Any milk will do, as long as it can even be skim milk. But you're using that lactose in there. I use whole milk, it works better. We'll come up and have a close look. We're going to do this extraction now. There's also byproducts of both of these. So the lactic acid bacteria is the curd on the top and the whey. That curd makes a wonderful cheese. We just put it on pizza as it is, or you can cook it down and use it and go through a process. I'm not going to talk too much about that. Making a cheese on it is very easy. I'm going to make another video on that if we do it. Or just use it as it is. It tastes great. It's wonderful. The serum left behind is that lab. That lab we have to have it refrigerated, be used at 1,000 to 1. That's disease prevention. So again, growth or flowering, or if there's both going on in the yard, use both. Disease prevention and larger fruits at 1,000 to 1. So this cheese, we're going to cut this out of here and filter it again. It's church going on today. The children are next door. So this might be clumsy on film. I'm going to try my best. Just clean this out. I'm trying to think my process through. I'm going to extract the cheese first, the best I can. I'm going to save that one for last. This one I didn't remove the film in there. The others I just poured off some of this original collection of the water, that rice water. Normally you'd discard that debris that's in the bottom. I think everything's going to be fine, but this whole one's just going to be for compost. I'm going to put it in 55 gallons of water, the lab itself, and put it all over my compost piles. The cheese, I think, will be just fine. It's up above all that. So I'm going to keep that separate. And these I'll bring over to the camera. We can have a look. I don't know if it's focusing on that. Let me see back here. Yeah, you can see the curd in there, the separation. These mouths get a little smaller on the top, so this can be finicky. And that's deeper than it was last time I did this. So let's see. First, I'll slice it into fours. Well, that was just deep enough. What a gorgeous day. I don't know if it's picking up those birds in the background. Linda's not here telling me to suck it in. I'm probably looking fat in my video again. So, yeah, see how I can do. Last time was pretty tough. Not too bad, not too bad. It's a real soft cheese that we have left behind here. I'm going to dump some of this out so it doesn't clog up on me. It smells really nice. Pleasant. The rest, I think, is dumpable. Get as much liquid out as I can. Actually, I don't know if that was the greatest idea or not. I don't want to get too much through. I might sieve this twice. So let's do this. And we'll dump it through here. Maybe starting fresh with a smaller glass jar. I think it'll all fit. Famous last words. Oh, it's going to be close. It's like cottage cheese. Gotta get some of that liquid out of it. So there you can see that color. Excuse me. That color of that collection. And again, when we use all of these products, all of these Korean natural farming products, the Master Cho brought us. Chris Trump, I got to give credit as well. I watch all of Chris Trump's videos. No relation. These all get used at 1,000 to 1, so they're extremely potent. Even as a root drench, we use them at 1,000 to 1. These we can get away with at 500 to 1 when we're using it as a root drench. Why play with fire? What I haven't done is the FAA. That's next. I'm looking for fish parts. That fermented amino acids has to be done at 1,000 to 1. There is other ingredients we want to use. One that I haven't made yet is the OHN. That's Oriental Herbal Nutrient. That is a long process. I'll just do a quick explanation. Geez, I hope I can remember it all from memory. We need licorice root. I can't. I'm going to wait and just share it. There's 5 different ingredients that we use: ginger, garlic, licorice root, and I'm drawing a blank on the other 2. Those need to be hydrated in a beer, a low alcohol, for about 6 days. Then you allow them to ferment about 6 days. Then you put them on a high alcohol content for 2 weeks. And then you extract a third of that and you go through that. It's a 6-month long process. At the end of it, you combine those equally, those 5 to 6 ingredients. There's 6 you can use. So it's a very long, complicated process, but it is the kind of the top bar. It's used as just an everyday use with our Oriental herbal nutrients. So OHN. There's also one last one we might take a look at. I don't know if the camera's going to pick up on it. I thought it had failed. I failed at this a couple times. I made my rice too wet, but this is called IMOs. So indigenous microorganisms. Those microorganisms we also found in those plants in the dew in the morning when I collected it. We're going to find more of the fungal side and that whatnot and the bacteria by going into a wooded area. The older the better. The most natural wild we can find. Looking for that white stranding mycelium on the ground, a good area to collect it from, and building one of these collection boxes. We'd also have a hood over this so it didn't rain on it, and a piece of paper towel so debris doesn't fall through. And we get it in our rice. My rice was too wet, and all I saw was this red bacteria show up on there, which can be very good. I think it's a sulfur mold, a sulfur bacteria. I can't think of the name of it. But I did notice this morning, if the camera's picking it up, we do see these little white fuzzy patches, and that's what I'm looking for. So I'm going to return it back down there, and we'll see if it continues to colonize this. I believe it will. I believe we're good. And then I'll do the same thing with that as I've done with the plant material from the yard. Stage 2 of IMO, to collect it and stabilize it, would be to put it in brown sugar. So we're taking up brown sugar, covering all the material that I had, equal parts. It's going to extract it by drying it out, suffocating it, emulsifying it. Osmosis is the word I'm looking for, through osmosis. So I'm George. This is Fat Ninja Food Forest. Those are Korean natural farming techniques. Those were real quick and basic that I explained it. If you want some real good explanation on them, look for Chris Trump on YouTube. Again, no connection, no relation. Or Growing with the Griffins, I believe. He's a young guy. I didn't want to like it because he's young. What is